So there are few important terms related to magnetism. So we will discuss first a few important terms related to it. So first one is magnetic permeability, which is symbol is mu. Okay, symbol is mu, and since magnetism, we started magnetism. This mu comes in the the constant in magnetism, which is uses mu naught by 4 pi. This is in free space, where mu naught is magnetic permeability of free space. But if suppose your medium is different from free space, then this is replaced by just mu. So mu by 4 pi. Okay. So what exactly is mu? Mu is magnetic permeability, and this is the ability of a material to permit the passage of magnetic lines of force through it. So greater is the value of mu, more number of lines will pass through it, more magnetic will be the material, and less is the value of mu, less magnetic will be material. Okay, so mu tells us about the how many lines or how greater is the magnetic property of the material. Okay, then there is second term, relative magnetic permeability. Relative is with respect to something. So here I told you mu naught by 4 pi. This is for free space. Mu by 4 pi is for any material. So there is a relation between mu and mu naught. So mu is equal to mu naught mu r. So this mu r is the relative permeability. You see from here we get mu r is equal to mu by mu naught. This exactly is similar to in electrostatic, epsilon r was equal to epsilon by epsilon naught. Similarly, here mu r is equal to mu by mu naught. Okay, this is relative magnetic permeability. Then what will be its unit? Relative permeability's unit will be no units, because it is a ratio of the two magnetic permeabilities. But the unit of magnetic permeability, mu, it will have a unit which is Tesla meter per ampere. Okay, Tesla meter per ampere. And then come to next property, which is intensity of magnetization. I vector, this is not current, because here I have used a vector symbol. Current is a scalar quantity. So I vector is intensity of magnetization, sometimes also written as capital M vector. But previously we have done capital M, we have used capital M as magnetic dipole moment, but here in this here intensity of magnetization is also represented by capital M. But there is a difference between these two quantities. Intensity of magnetization and magnetic dipole moment are two different quantities, but symbol sometimes same M is used, or we can also use I. Okay, now how to define this? Now this I vector, or if you represent by M, both are same. This is equal to magnetic moment, the total magnetic moment divided by volume. Okay, dipole magnetic moment. Okay, magnetic dipole moment per unit volume. So we know that magnetic moment's unit is ampere meter square, and this is meter cube. So it will be ampere per meter. Its unit will be ampere per meter. Okay, now next comes magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility symbol is Xi M. Here, this is the way we draw. Okay, Xi M is a subscript for magnetism. So magnetic susceptibility. Okay, and this is defined as Xi M is equal to I by H. I is intensity of magnetization. That means magnetic moment per unit volume is I divided by H, where H we have not done. H is the next term which we will do, magnetizing force or magnetic intensity. So I by H. Okay, that means it is the ratio of intensity of magnetization to the magnetizing force or magnetic intensity. I by H, or you can, instead of I, if you write M, to M by H. Okay, now next term is, okay, and before we go further, what is the importance of Xi M? It determines how easily a specimen can be magnetized. Okay, mu tells us how many lines will pass through it. Okay, that means how strong magnetic property of a material is. But Xi M tells us how easily it can be magnetized, how easily the specimen can be magnetized. Okay, so there is a slight difference between what is told us by this quantity and this quantity, and the units are also different. Now next term is magnetizing force or magnetic intensity. Okay, so sorry, it is the number of ampere turns. This is the H is the symbol, number of ampere turns flowing round unit length of a toroid or a solenoid to produce the magnetic intensity B in the solenoid. So if you have a toroid or a solenoid, we know that magnetic field in the center is B is equal to mu naught Ni. Okay, according to the definition, it is the number of turns, turns flowing, ampere turns. How many ampere turns, current carrying turns, are flowing round unit length, across the unit length. So number of turns in unit length is this Ni. So I is the, basically Ni. The number of turns, ampere turns flowing around unit length of toroid or solenoid to produce magnetic induction B. To produce B, how many number of turns per unit length of current is passing? So Ni, this is the formula for H. Okay, H is equal to Ni. If this is the number of turns per unit length carrying current I, then you have magnetic field B is equal to mu naught Ni. So B is responsible of this term Ni. So this is called magnetizing force. Okay, so that means what is the relation between B and H? B is equal to mu H. Mu naught H, if it is free space inside, then mu naught H. And if suppose it's not a free space, you have a magnetic material inside, this will be replaced by, if this is free space, this is replaced by some other material, then magnetic field will become mu H. Okay, and what will be its SI unit? Its SI unit will be joules per meter per Weber. Joules per meter per Weber. Okay, now next, last term which you need to know is magnetic induction or magnetic flux density, which we have been doing, and its unit is Tesla. This is basically magnetic field strength. Okay, and its unit is Tesla. SI unit is Tesla. So we will see how they are related to each other. Okay, so next topic which is we're going to do is relation between susceptibility and magnetic permeability. And you see here, suppose you have a solenoid which contains, suppose there is free space inside it, and it carries a current of I in it. Okay, so the magnetic field at the center of the solenoid is given by B is equal to mu naught Ni. Okay, B is equal to mu naught Ni. Now if you replace this free space with some core, you put some magnetic material in. When you put some magnetic material inside, what will happen? The magnetic field, more number of field lines will pass through it. So your magnetic field will become stronger. So initially there is nothing, free space. So this is the magnetic field inside. Now if you put some magnetic material, magnetic field will increase. So the new magnetic field, okay, B, this will be greater than B naught. Okay, for magnetic material. B is greater than B naught. So I can write, because B is greater than B naught, I can write B as B naught plus something. This something I can write Bm. Why? B naught is the magnetic field in a free space, and Bm is the extra magnetic field because of the magnetic material, because due to the magnetic property of the new core which we have given. Now, okay, so this Bm is actually directly proportional to magnetic field intensity of magnetization. Bm is directly proportional to intensity of magnetization. And then the next step, this proportionality constant is mu naught. Okay, so remember, this is not mu, this is mu naught. Mu naught is related to magnetic permeability of free space. So this is how it is related with mu naught. If you write mu naught, then this is magnetic intensity of magnetization, M. Okay, so this part, the extra magnetic field is equal to mu naught into M. Now I will substitute that part here, and we know that B naught is equal to mu naught Ni. Ni is H, so it is mu naught H. I can replace this with this. So I get B is equal to mu naught H plus mu naught M. If I take mu naught common, it is H plus M. But if you see this expression, magnetic susceptibility which we did earlier, okay, magnetic susceptibility xi m is equal to I by H, where I is intensity of magnetization, which can also be written as M by H. Okay, M by H. So from here, M will be equal to xi m H. That I can write here, replace. Okay, so mu naught H plus xi m H. This H can be written outside. Mu naught H 1 plus xi m is equal to B. Okay. Now B, but what about B? B is equal to You see here, mu naught, B naught is mu naught H, but B is equal to mu H, where mu is the magnetic permeability of the medium. So here B will be mu H. I can write mu H is equal to mu naught H 1 plus xi m. So this H and H gets cancelled, and what we get is mu is equal to mu naught 1 plus xi m. Now you see mu by mu naught, mu by mu naught is equal to 1 plus xi m. What is mu by mu naught? Mu by mu naught is relative permeability, mu r is equal to 1 plus xi m. So this is the relation between relative permeability and magnetic susceptibility of the magnetic material. Okay. Now here you see, children, xi m, the susceptibility. If this is its value is between 0 and -1, okay, xi m, I'm telling you, xi m. If this is less than 0 and greater than equal to -1, then the material, okay, for this value of xi m between 0 and -1, the material is a diamagnetic material, okay. And if xi m lies between them, then what about mu r? Okay, mu r, just add 1 to all of them. This will become mu r, this will become 0, and this will become 1. So mu r, for a diamagnetic material, your magnetic susceptibility is a negative number between -1 to 0, and relative permeability is between 0 to 1. Okay, and mu is less than, so but your mu is equal to mu r mu naught. That means your mu will be less than mu naught, because mu r is less than 1. Mu will be less than mu naught. Okay, so example of diamagnetic material is bismuth, copper, and lead, etc. Superconductors are also diamagnetic. Perfect diamagnetic material. For perfect diamagnetic material, xi m is equal to -1. Okay, and if xi m is equal to -m, mu r is equal to 0. Okay, and if mu r is equal to 0, your mu will be equal to 0 for a perfect diamagnet. Perfect diamagnet only. Okay, otherwise for a diamagnetic material, this is the value. Now for a paramagnetic material, okay, for a paramagnetic material, xi m is greater than 0, and it is a positive number, which is small positive number. So we write as epsilon. Epsilon is a small positive number. Okay, so if I add 1 to all the sides, this will become 1 less than xi m plus 1 is mu r, and this will become 1 plus epsilon. So you see, your mu r is between 1 and slightly greater than 1. Okay, and magnetic susceptibility is positive but a small number, very small number. So this number, because this mu r is between greater than 1, so your mu is equal to mu r mu naught. Mu will be greater than mu naught. Okay, mu will be greater than mu naught. So your this is the condition for a paramagnetic material. That means paramagnetic material will show slightly more magnetism. Diamagnetic material will show less magnetism. It will actually repel the magnetic material. Okay, here it will attract the magnetic material. Then example of a paramagnetic material is aluminium, sodium, calcium, oxygen, copper chloride. Okay, now comes ferromagnetic material. For ferromagnetic material, xi m. Okay, this is xi is small positive number. This is a very big positive number. So it is much greater than 1. Positive and very large number. So if this is very large, mu r will also be very large. And so mu is mu r mu naught. So mu will be very large as compared to mu naught. It's a big number. Okay, mu r is in the order of thousands. And magnetic, so these are the condition for a ferromagnetic material. And what are the iron, cobalt, nickel, alnico, gadolinium, these are the ferromagnetic material. Okay.